Tonight on CTV News at 5.
It doesn't matter where we go. People see her and they know her as Martha from Canadian Tire everywhere.
Martha's milestone. A Cape Breton woman celebrates half a century of service at a Canadian staple. And No Memory for Murder, a new book, takes a look back at a maritime true crime story.
Well, the last of the rain and showers continues to end this evening, and it'll be sunnier weather for tomorrow.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maria Pano-Palace. Before we get any further, let's head over to the anchor desk to see what Todd Battis is working on for 6 o'clock.
Hi there, Maria. Lots of new faces sitting around municipal council chambers in New Brunswick. This after more than 216,000 people cast ballots in yesterday's municipal elections, translating into nearly 40% turnout of eligible voters. We'll talk about some of the hotly contended races, including one that saw a former MP lose out in a seat. That's coming up, of course, at 6. Wine growers say they could be adding more to Canada's bottom line, but trade and tariff trouble is getting in the way. Wine sales currently contribute over $10 billion a year to Canada's GDP. That number, they say, could be $13 billion. We'll talk about what's standing in the way in the newscast. Getting around Halifax isn't easy at the best of time. We know that. Plenty of traffic and congestion. Among the things pinned to help ease congestion is public transit. Part of that is the ferry service. Problem is, it's down to one vessel for the foreseeable future on one run, and that's causing more delays. We'll tell you all about it at 6 o'clock. Right now, let's tell the tale of weather. Kayla Mitchell has been toiling away in the Weather Center, negotiating with Mother Nature. And this is what you've come up with.
Yeah, so of course we did have some rain and some showers that lingered for parts of the region for today. Actually, the area where the rain and the showers lingered most shows up quite well here on our temperature map. It's where the temperatures are being held on the cooler side in the range around 4 to 7 degrees across parts of Prince Edward Island and basically Halifax and eastern Nova Scotia. Now, some parts of the Maritimes did see the sun break through a little bit for today, including areas in New Brunswick, allowing for some temperatures there to get up into the low teens. And same thing goes for the parts of the southwest of Nova Scotia. Checking in on the winds, they're mostly out of the north and they're being sustained right now in a lot of cases between 10 and 25 kilometers per hour, except a little bit on the gusty side for parts of Cape Breton. Right now at the Sydney Airport, a sustained wind of 39 kilometers per hour with a gust up to 52 there, whereas other parts of the Maritimes are seeing some wind gusts mostly between 30 and 40. Over on radar and satellite, here's what's left of some of the rain and the showers. So you can see it streaking through in the bands here across parts of Prince Edward Island, down towards central areas of Nova Scotia, including still some light rain falling in around the Halifax area, and then parts of the east of Nova Scotia, including up to Cape Breton. What's left of that lighter rain and showers will continue to come to an end as we move into and through this evening. Should see a little bit of clearing during the overnight, and the good news is, with an area of high pressure making its way in from the west, coming up in the forecast for tomorrow around the Maritimes, it is going to be some sunnier conditions. We've been a little bit cloudy, a little bit damp through the start of this week, so I think a lot of people will be looking forward to that. I'll talk more about it when I'm back with the forecast a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. Right now, though, in New Brunswick, the demand for fertility treatments has more than doubled since the province announced it would cover the first round. As CTV's Laura Brown reports, it's a boost for hope at a time when Canada's birth rate, it is a record low.
This is 6-month-old Oliver. Bright-eyed and so very cute. He's Meredith Martel's success story.
The second they passed him to me, I lost it. I was crying. My mom was with me. We were both in tears. It's just like the best feeling.
At 35, Martel was single, but really wanted to have a child. She began the fertility process only to find out she had stage 4 endometriosis. 6 rounds of IVF went unsuccessful, so she switched to donor eggs. She got one good embryo, and that's all she needed. The whole process took 5 years and over $100,000 for Martel, who of course says it was all worth it. She did get her last round covered by New Brunswick's fertility reimbursement program.
It was a huge blessing, for sure.
That year-old program covers up to $20,000 for one cycle of IVF or $10,000 for the cost of intrauterine insemination. Premier Susan Holt revealed the number of families who've sought treatment has more than doubled since that program was announced.
And I can't tell you how much I love receiving messages from the families that have been able to complete their family.
It's an investment in our population.
New data released by Statistics Canada found the country's fertility rate has hit a record low at 1.25 children per woman. Dr. Nicholas Leyland hopes more Canadians see fertility as a serious healthcare issue.
All across Canada, we have limitations in terms of providers. So obstetrician gynecologists and primary care providers to be able to see these patients and assess them and then refer them. So there's a significant wait time.
Martel is grateful for the financial support, but also hopes someday families won't have to spend quite as much as she did.
Fertility care is healthcare. It should be covered.
Laura Brown, CTV News, Moncton.
Thank you, Laura. Time for our first break here on CTV News at 5. When we come back, a familiar face joins us for a conversation. Author and former ATV journalist Blaine Henshaw discusses his latest book, a true crime story based in Halifax. No Memory for Murder, next. Welcome back to CTV News at 5. Author Blaine Henshaw spent over a quarter-century in broadcasting, and about half of that was here on our air as a crime and political reporter for ATV News. His latest book tells the true story of Jimmy Odo, a Halifax man connected to two very brutal killings in the city. We're so very glad that Blaine could join us to talk about No Memory for Murder. Welcome back to CTV. Nice to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be here where I used to work.
Right, your old stomping grounds.
Yeah, it's nice.
You've written several books, and this is the latest one. It's dark, so that's a little bit of a precursor. Tell me a little bit about this story for those that may not be familiar with it. It's a true crime story right out of the city.
It's a true crime story, and it's a tragedy in that two young people, innocent young people, lost their lives, were murdered. One was Tony Cluett. He was 14 years of age from Spryfield. And the second one was Darlene Davidson, and she was only 5 years of age. So it's a tragic story right from the start. And even the life story of Jimmy Odo, who was convicted of the second murder, it was pretty dark. His life had not been pleasant.
So Jimmy Odo is the main character, I guess, of this story. Yeah. But it's also about a flawed system and corruption and the fact that he was able to recommit a crime.
Yeah, the parole system in this country it needs some work. It needed work then in 1981, and I think it still needs some work. You know, people who should be treated in a different way, by different way I mean they should be treated as someone who is sick with mind sickness. They should be treated in a different way. In a lot of cases, they are freed to go, and they commit other crimes when they need more treatment.
More treatment.
Yeah.
We just saw some images of Jimmy Odo back in 1981.
Yeah.
You were covering this case as a court reporter back then. How did it affect you as a young man, as a young reporter?
Well,
and a young dad too at the time.
When I was writing the book, my daughter was 5 years old, the same age as the victim in the second murder, Darlene Davidson. So that played on me, and I was writing this book late at night. I was working here, covering the story on a daily basis. Then I'd go home, and after the kids settled down and got to bed, I'd work on the book until the wee hours of the morning. No computers then. I wrote it on a manual typewriter, believe it or not. And I would write until 2 or 3 in the morning and then come in here and go to the courts and go to work. So it took a year to do it.
And almost 50 years to publish it.
Yes.
Why was it so important for you to get it published?
Yeah. at the time that I wrote, this is the first book they ever wrote in 1981. And at the time I was writing it, I didn't know if I'd be able to finish a book or not, so I never approached a publisher.
Right.
I wanted to write the book first, because you'd never go in and buy a car with just the steering wheel.
No.
You know, you want the whole thing, so I figured a publisher would want the whole thing. And I wasn't certain whether I could finish it or not, so I said, I'll write the book. If I finish it, I'll try to get it published. If I can't finish it, I'll just give up. So I did get the book finished, and I remember the morning I finished it. It was about 6 in the morning. I'd been writing all night, and then I woke up or got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was like I had just climbed Mount Everest.
Yeah.
It was a big climb.
Yeah.
I rewrote it many times, and but I never gave up on it. And if there's any advice I would give a new writer or a young writer or an old writer, is don't give up. Believe in what you've written. If you believe in it, it'll find its way.
Well, and this book certainly did.
Might take a few years.
It might take a few years, but it is, my goodness, an impactful story. Straight out of the Maritimes, it reads like something you'd hear in a big city in the United States, or, you know, that you'd see on Dateline, but it happened right here in our region. It is absolutely fascinating. No Memory for Murder is in bookstores right now, but you're also doing an official launch later this month on the 29th of May. Where can people see you?
Yeah. We'll be doing a book launch, which includes a discussion of the book, a reading from the book, and signing copies. And we'll be doing that on Friday night, May the 29th at Indigo, Bears Lake. And it starts at 6, and we'll be there until 8 o'clock.
Blaine, really nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Here's Kaylin.
Thank you, Maria. Well, parts of the Maritimes today were stuck with some stubborn cloud cover as well as some rain. We're looking at it here at a pretty gray sky in the Sydney area from earlier today. There are some changes ahead, though, for the region. A little bit more sun expected for tomorrow, and more on that after the break.
Welcome back. Kaylin Mitchell joins us once again. And Kaylin, so tomorrow, I need a favor, okay? Tomorrow, I'm going to be outside shooting some garden guide segments. How's the weather going to be? Well,
you may have threaded the needle this week as far as finding a decent weather day goes. Because, yes, we've had a lot of wet weather to begin the week. It was certainly dreary today around the Halifax and Dartmouth area. Here's a look out at Sullivan's Pond earlier today. Cloudy skies, occasional rounds of rain moving through. That's beginning to wind down this evening, but it hasn't completely come to an end yet. We will see the remaining lighter rain and showers in parts of the Maritimes come to an end as we make our way through the evening hours. And then some clearing expected during the overnight. A little bit more sunshine in the region for tomorrow as our next weather system arriving is this ridge of high pressure that'll be making its way in from the west. As we check in on things on radar right now, though, we still have a few bands of rain and showers that have to cycle their way across the east of Nova Scotia and out of Prince Edward Island. A lot of that rain has made its way up into parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. It's going to be especially heavy around parts of the south of Newfoundland as we make our way through tonight and into tomorrow morning. Taking a look at our timeline, though, back here in the Maritime region, as we head towards and after midnight, most of that shower activity is out of the way, and there should even be some clearing of some cloud cover. Start of the day for tomorrow. If there are any fog patches that will have developed during the overnight hours, those will be dissipating. And throughout the day on Wednesday for the region, it will be mostly sunny to a very fair weather mix of sun and cloud. One of the parts of the Maritimes likely to see a little bit increasing cloudiness moving into and through the afternoon will be parts of the west of New Brunswick and the southwest of Nova Scotia, but that should be mostly thin, high cloud cover at first, though that cloud cover will continue to increase and get a little bit lower heading into Wednesday evening and night, and this is when we're going to see some showers return. So decent amount of sunshine during the day for tomorrow, but some showers that will be returning Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. By the early evening hours, should be making their way into southwestern areas of New Brunswick and the southwest of Nova Scotia, and then this band of showers will make its way across the Maritimes as we move through Wednesday night and into early Thursday morning. Early on the day on Thursday, there might be a few showers that linger around Prince Edward Island and in Cape Breton, as well as northern areas of New Brunswick. Taking a look at winds in the forecast for tonight and for tomorrow. Tonight's winds will be mostly out of the northwest. They get a little bit lighter by around midnight. And then in the forecast for Wednesday, winds around the region will be mostly out of the west and northwest and sustained around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour with a few gusts between 30 and 40, except in Cape Breton, where a few of the peak wind gusts get closer to 50 kilometers per hour. So just a little bit more on the gusty side there in Cape Breton. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight. So as the rain comes to an end and the sky begins to clear a little bit, it does become cool. A lot of lows headed down to around the low to mid single digits tonight. Parts of the west and north of New Brunswick could actually have some low temperatures between around -2 and +2. And then high temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow in the afternoon with the sun out. A decent amount of recovery when it comes to those temperatures. A lot of highs tomorrow away from the coast will be up to around the mid to high teens. Some coastal areas will see temperatures just a little bit cooler, closer towards the low to mid teens. And as I mentioned, we have that round of showers coming in Wednesday evening, night, and into early Thursday morning. In behind it, a bit more cloud cover around for Thursday. We'll call it cloudy with sunny breaks. Best chance of sunny breaks will be in Prince Edward Island and parts of Nova Scotia. Temperature zone, a southerly wind, are still fairly mild with a lot of areas away from the coast. High teens, maybe a few into the low 20s. A couple of coastal areas will be held a little bit cooler, including the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick and parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 8-year-old Scotland Mason from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Scotland has sent us a drawing of some tulips and some other May flowers. Thank you, Scotland. Great drawing. Weather watchers can come in anytime to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. Next up, a place to heal. Members of the military, veterans, and first responders experience PTSD and addiction at a higher rate than the general public, and a new facility aims to provide hope and recovery for them. CTV's Brianne Foley visited the state-of-the-art treatment center where those who serve and protect can find some peace and support.
Folks who have spent their entire careers serving and protecting others.
A first of its kind for Nova Scotia, the EHN Guardians Atlantic is a place for healing those who serve.
This place, EHN, taught me that I was broken, but I was still a good person, and I knew in my heart that I was a good person and I had something to work towards.
Moving from the Annapolis Valley, the state-of-the-art larger facility allows more care for those who need it.
We've opened officially in February, but we are opening here a much larger facility. We really listened to a lot of the feedback from some of the
that we don't like to face. None of us do, but we all have stuff that we have to face. So I'm lucky enough today that I get to do that.
For Ron Wilson, he healed in a place that felt comfortable.
Safe space, not looking over my shoulder. Everybody here, okay, there's a Mountie, there's a first responder, there's an EHS guy, there's my people, uniformed people.
A struggle many first responders, veterans, and military personnel deal with.
You have to give up yourself to serve in a lot of ways. And that's the draw for me. That was my energy was, yeah, I don't want what I want what the group wants. I want something bigger than myself.
First of all, we have such a large military population. We have a huge population that's here of first responders. People come back and they retire here. And it's so nice to be able to offer this service here in our backyard.
More than just a place to heal, it's another chance.
I look back and say, that was part of my life. Doesn't define me now. And now I have this gift that I've been given of life, energy, and understanding. I wasn't broken. I was just getting impacted by what I was doing, and I'm back to me.
Brianne Foley, CTV News, head of Jador.
Oh, thank you for sharing. All right, we're going to take our final break here on CTV News at 5. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll tell you Martha's milestone.
I'm Ryan McDonald in Sydney. Working any job for 50 years is something worthy of recognition. Today we meet a Cape Breton woman whose half-century-long career at a store that is a Canadian institution of sorts was celebrated by family, friends, and co-workers from over the years. Her story is coming up.
Welcome back. So 50 years at any job is certainly noteworthy. As CTV's Ryan McDonald reports, today a Cape Breton woman was celebrated for her half-century of service at a store that's a Canadian staple.
Any day you wear a sash and tiara to work isn't exactly a regular work day.
Well, I've been here 50 years. I started in 1976.
Today, family, friends, and co-workers, past and present, came to the Canadian Tire in Sydney to celebrate Martha McIsaac's half-century working here.
My mother and Canadian Tire are the same age. My mother was born 1922, September. Canadian Tire started October 1922. So I think it's a little bit of synchronicity going on.
Considering this Canadian institution marked its 100th birthday only a few years ago, McIsaac has been around for nearly half of its existence.
It doesn't matter where we go. People see her and they know her as Martha from Canadian Tire everywhere.
McIsaac's daughter says not only is her mother a familiar face to generations of customers, but her loyalty to her workplace over the years has been unmatched.
I've spent many Friday evenings with her, wandering numerous other department stores that shall go nameless to do price comparisons.
I was 3 years old when Martha started working at Canadian Tire.
When the party moved upstairs to the lunchroom, there was cake.
Oh my God.
A card signed by all her colleagues, and a service pin that isn't handed out too often.
Here's a 50-year pin. This one's pretty special.
Then the woman of the hour was presented with a watch, which apparently she doesn't need because her boss says in 50 years she was pretty much never late.
I don't know, I might go for my 75 years.
I really hope that she knows how much she's loved and appreciated. And if she knows by the end of today how much her 50 years have meant to a lot of people and to a community as a whole, I think, I think it's well done.
This is 50 years.
A fitting celebration for a major milestone. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Queen for a day. Congratulations, Martha.
Oh, big congratulations, absolutely. And a little bit sunnier for tomorrow, which I'm happy to say. So I'll be talking more about that coming up in CTV News at 6, and of course peeking into the upcoming long weekend.
Excellent. We're looking forward to that indeed. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see Kaylin and Todd at 6 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow. The national news is next.